Hey, this is Mina. We are in Web3 Women Summit behind the scenes. I have this amazing lady with me, Julia, and she will now do an intro about herself.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm Julia. I'm a marketer by heart. And basically, before going into Web3, I was working for big companies like Adidas. I spent 5 years at Google, where I was working with the biggest brands in the world. And then 2 years ago, I decided to not only be an investor in Web3, but to go full-time into Web3 as a marketer. Currently, I'm a founder of a Web3 marketing agency called Lumini Labs, and I'm also the founder of a game creation platform for marketers, which is called Things.
Okay, lovely. So, what did you do at Google exactly?
Yeah, it was super exciting working at Google. So basically, when I joined Google, I was working previously for Adidas. So basically, they hired me to take over the whole Adidas portfolio. So there I was working with, some of the biggest brands in the world, and I was helping them to manage all this Google data. So, for example, like Google Trends. There are a lot of tools you can use with this data to learn about your consumers or even about like the next products they should launch. Like as an example, during COVID times, we saw that suddenly there was this huge spike in Google searches for sweatpants.
Okay.
So as a business, actually it makes sense to change your website, change your e-commerce store and put the sweatpants in front. And this is data you would have never gotten anywhere else than from Google. So these were the kind of business decisions I was helping them to make and like to analyze the data in the right way.
So, all your previous experience in Adidas and Google, how did it help you now as a CEO, as a co-founder in your current marketing agency?
Yeah, so I think I learned a lot. So first of all, how to manage senior stakeholders. So basically, especially in Google, there was this huge learning culture. I think when I was there, I did like 300 trainings or something like that in the time I was there. And one of the things you learn pretty quickly is how to communicate with C-levels, how to bring your message across in a few words and really make it snappy, short, on point, and how to manage teams, large teams. And yes, I think that was the main, like this interpersonal skills I learned. And also to make all decisions based on data. So that's something I really took on as a founder. Like if there's any possibility, I'm trying to make it decision-based. It's not always possible, as you also know.
True. But going in solo or with your co-founder, also a lady, what is it that you learned now as the CEO?
Yeah.
So what are the new things that you encountered as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. I think for me in the beginning, so I was employed for more than 10 years. That was everything I knew. I was basically probably one of the best employees you could have. Always super performance driven, looking for the next promotion and so on, following the lead. So what I needed to learn is how to unlearn being a good employer.
True.
And being a good boss and making all of these decisions for myself. So I think for me, the biggest switch was changing into this entrepreneurial mindset. There is nobody who can make the decisions for you. You have to make them yourself.
It's basically being part of being grown up, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Like you're responsible for your own life, but in this sense, you're responsible for your employees also.
Exactly.
So that's an extra thing.
Yeah. No, but for me, it was a big switch, I have to say, because especially in Web3, there is so much uncharted territory. So
True. Still is.
It still is. So you always have to make a decision like, is this the right direction I'm going on or should I go into another direction? There's so many opportunities like you can chase and then like really going your way, listening to your gut, which is also a very female thing. Intuition, yes. Exactly. Following my intuition.
Okay. So what would you advise to future female founders, entrepreneurs? It doesn't matter in which sphere.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for them?
So my biggest advice is to I think what I see a lot in women and what I'm struggling with as well a lot myself is that a lot of times we always think we have to know everything. We have to, like, there's the statistic that basically women only apply for a job if they have 100% of the skills. Men apply for the same job when they have 60% of the skills. Do you know that statistic?
Now I do.
Ah, okay. So I love it because I think it's such a perfect example of how we as women sometimes are, that we are super perfectionists. We always want to know everything. But if you want to know everything in advance and like have all the skills, you will never start your own company.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things you're figuring out on the way. And if you don't know how to do it, you get the right people in who will help you.
Yeah, you hire people to do it, but what is your advice here?
Yeah, so my advice is like, just go for it. Even if you have the feeling like if you have this imposter syndrome, just go for it, do it, and you will be successful. And and listen to your gut as well.
Okay, so girls, intuition and like Nike said, just do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to say that you can actually be a fully Web2 person and be using Bonfire. You're not going to make the most of the platform because we are